uh, something happened, there was something with the body, it left the body, so the body expressing or is showing up the signs of death. So, uh, so whatever something X, whatever X was with the body, and this when it came in association with the body started functioning like at the time of the birth. But at the time of the death, when that X got separated from the body stopped working. So that X, whatever is there, that we call Atma. So the one that is there, which is making the body work, that is Atma. So it proves the existence of the soul Atma. But then our own mind may ask a question, or the Pratipaksha or the Purvapaksha can come and ask the question, wait a minute, why should there be something other than the body? The body itself is the soul, and when the body died, actually the soul died also. The soul and the body are same. They're not two different things. The body itself is the soul. That's why it didn't work, because the soul and the body are same, and they died. So it's not functioning. So at the time of the death, it stopped functioning, because the body, and which is same as the soul, both died. I mean, are the same thing that died. So it stopped working. So why can't it be the case? That question, when it is asked, then we answer that saying, hey, wait a minute. Even if you assume that the body is the soul are the same, body and the soul are the same, but between the birth and the death, so many times, every day we sleep. So at the time of the sleeping is not a death. So the body is intact, and you say body is the soul. So the soul is also intact, soul or the body, whatever you call, that's intact. And at the time of the sleep, we do not experience whatever we experience during the wakeful state, that experience is not there during sleep state. So if body is the soul, why the sukha dukkha anubhava, the experience of the joys and the sorrows that we have during the wakeful state, why they are not there during the sleep state? That means that itself proves that the soul itself is not the body, or the body itself is not the soul. They are two different things. Then the Purvapaksha can come and give some propositions or a position or understanding that, okay, if the body is not the soul, there is something like a mind. Now, the mind that we are working, the mind, it is same as the soul. So the body is different from the soul, okay, but the soul is same as the mind, or the mind is same as the soul. The mind and the soul are the same. The mind is activated along with the body, and when the mind died, the soul also, I mean, the mind and the soul are same, so the soul also same as the mind, so which died. So why can't mind be the soul? So that's the second alternative that a non-believer of the soul is going to propose. Then we answer that, wait a minute, the mind, we say, like, mind, we say, oh, the mind is used as a tool. The mind is the tool that is used to experience the joys and the sorrows. If you use a tool for something, that like, you take a screwdriver, open the screws with the screwdriver, you are taking out the screws with a screwdriver. You yourself is not the screwdriver, and the screw itself is also not the screwdriver. The tool is different, the agent is the different. So mind is only a tool. So mind cannot be the agent. So agent which using the mind must be different. Just as you say the mind is using the body, and there's something that is using the body and the mind. So there has to be something which is different from the body and the mind, and that we call Atma or Jiva or whatever. So this is this must exist, which is using the body and the mind. This also makes sense if we think how we address ourselves. Like so many times we say, this is my body, this is my mind. We use that. When we use the word my body, my mind, that expression my, which is coming from that I and my, that I must be different from the body and the mind. So that whatever is saying my body and my mind, that is the Atma. The Atma is that which is saying, this is my body, this is my mind. I am using my body, I am using my mind to perform my activities. So the existence of the soul is undeniable. So the atheists, whoever argue that there's nothing called a soul apart from the body and the mind, they have to accept, no, that is not the case. There has to be a Atma Vastu which is different from the body and the mind, and which is using the body and the mind as the agents. So this is a very important concept. And uh, after getting that concept, so how do we know the existence of the soul? Where from do we get the information? Okay, our anubhava tells that there has to be something that's other than the body and the soul. I mean, body and the mind, the soul has to be there. But where do we get this information? And there, Acharya explains the hidden message in Dehinosminita Dehe, that this concept of the Atma comes from Vedas. And there, Vedas, what are Vedas? Like Vedas are Apaurushaya Vedas. So, Apaurushaya means unauthored. There has to be an unauthored text which actually gives us this information about Atma. Then the Purupaksha will come and argue, wait a minute, why do we assume, or how can we take that there is a text which is unauthored? Because today's world, anybody we see something, some work, some literary work or any kind of work, we know that there has to be an author. So authorless is an untenable concept. There can be nothing, or there cannot be anything which is authorless, a write-up or a work or anything. So the Vedas cannot be authorless. It has to be authored by someone. But of course, there's an elaborate argument that goes, and we established that no, Vedas are authorless, because there is no any position anywhere, anytime during our entire experience of the human existence, that somebody authored the Vedas. So there is no authorship for the Vedas. So the eternal Vedas, which even Paramatma claims that he has not composed the Vedas, he is only Vedanta Kud Veda Videvachaham. He says he wrote the Vedanta, but he did not write the Vedas. He is known by the Vedas, but he didn't compose them. Even Paramatma did not write the Vedas. So the Veda Apaurushayatva has to be. So the Vedas, which are eternal, are the ones which speak about the existence of the Atma itself. And why do we need this eternally flowing soul or Atma? And the Vedas that support them is, of course, is another aspect. But why do we need this Atma Vastu itself? Why should we even worry about it or think about it? What is there for us to worry and think about the Atma? Why? So the further reason is, we see that there are so many discrepancies in the world. Everybody is not the same. Somebody is born happy, somebody is born rich, somebody is born poor, somebody is suffering all the life. None of the person's mistakes. So the very start itself is so varying. So each one has a different kind of start of life, way of life. So something must be a cause for this. So what can be the reason for these variations, discrepancies in the world? What can be the reason? So the dharma, adharma theories, the karma theory, all those come into picture. There is something called dharma and adharma, and people who perform their karmas according to the proper dharma, they reap the good result. So we will talk about it in much more detail at a later time. But the very concept of dharma and adharma, righteousness, actually there is no exact equivalent of the word dharma. Dharma cannot be translated into any other language, no other language. In fact, if we take any Indian languages, they borrow the word dharma as a dharma and adharma. Even the Western languages, they have to borrow the word dharma and adharma, because that word is actually very, very untranslatable word. If I can use that expression, it cannot be translated into any language. That's why we use the very word dharma and adharma. But we have a certain concept when somebody says, hey, he's not doing according to dharma, or somebody is doing adharma. When we use the expression, we do have a comprehension about that word. So this dharma, basically dharana dharma, that's the simple definition that our scriptures give. That which sustains, that which supports, that which upholds, that which makes everything run, that which gives us the sense of responsibility, that which protects us when we protect that, when we follow that. Dharmo rakshate rakshitaha. So this dharma, and whatever against the dharma is adharma. This dharma adharma concept is very essential, and Vedas provide that authorless scriptures, Vedas provide dharma adharma concept. And this dharma adharma concept comes only through an author text, because if it comes through some author text gives that dharma adharma concept, only that time it started, means before the authorship, before it is written, there is no dharma dharma. That problem comes. So if we do not accept an eternal, ever existing, unauthored text which speaks about dharma dharma, if we do not accept that, then prior to that action of or act of authoring, dharma dharma does not exist, because nothing has defined it. There is no dharma adharma prior to that. That is not proper. Since dharma and adharma are eternal, the ones that gives us that concept, the text, that also must be eternal. If it has to be eternal, it has to be unauthored, because somebody authored means it has a beginning. No beginning means not authored. So this dharma adharma concept is essential for our life, and that explains that our actions which we have performed in the past makes us go through the results of those actions, and that is what makes us to get multiple bodies, one body after another body. Dehinosmita dehe komaram yavanam jara. And there dehantara prapti is talked about in the second half of the verse. Dehantara praptis dhiras tatra namuhyati. So that deha antara prapti, another body acquiring. So there is a correlation between dharma and adharma, performing karma according to dharma and adharma, and reaping the results according to dharma and adharma. And so to enjoy or suffer the results of our own actions has to be done. And the way it can be done is if the souls can reap the results, even if it acquires another body. So that is the only way that we can explain so much of variation that is there in the world. The variations are not random, they are not happening just like that, because somebody, why they are having nice life, somebody is having a bad life. Why? The reason has to be our prior actions or prior karmas, and the prior karmas are judged or determined or interpreted or given proper results according to dharma and adharma. So this dharma adharma siddhi is very important, and that is what is being conveyed in the words of Lord Sri Krishna. And um, why should we accept the agama pramana? Pratyaksha, we see in this world, the pratyaksha pramana is there. So pratyaksha pramana alone should be sufficient for everything. Why should we accept other pramanas? Means the pratyaksha pramana and the anumana, that means the logic, according to pratyaksha alone, does not explain things that are beyond pratyaksha. Whatever is available for pratyaksha, the pratyaksha pramana or the direct perception, it can explain whatever is within the means of pratyaksha, they can be explained. But whatever is beyond pratyaksha, how can the pratyaksha pramana or the anumana based on the pratyaksha explain? It cannot. So we need a shabda pramana or certain aphorisms or whatever you may call, a prime principle has to be there which explains things which are beyond pratyaksha. So that's the that we have to accept. So the agama pramana, what is agama? Nirdosha shabda agama. So just as nirdosha pratyaksha, when we see the pratyaksha, we want the pratyaksha not to be affected by probable causes of defect. Like for example, if something is very close to our eyes, we can't see it. Like we can't see our own eyes. We can see the reflection of our eyes, but we can never see our own eyes. Same way, if something is too far away, like galaxies away, we cannot see it. Even things which are far away, like 100 feet, 200 feet, we cannot see sometimes. So if it's too far or too close, or if it's no proper light is there, we cannot see. So if there is any obstruction for our pratyaksha, then the pratyaksha is affected by that. So nirdosha indriya artha sannikarshana, that means the sense organs and the sense objects have to be connected without any problem. That will give us a perfect pratyaksha or a good pratyaksha. Same way, a sound or the word or the expressions which are flawless, the totally flawless expressions will give us the right knowledge. The flawless expressions will give us the right knowledge. So there is necessity for that. So this is can happen. Apaurushaya Vakyas, because the Paurushaya means a Purusha, somebody, an author, compose something means if the author has a defective knowledge, his composition will also carry that ignorance. If the author is ignorant of something, his work also will be not having the knowledge about that particular object. So an author's ignorance will show through his works. So it has to be something that is beyond uh, like the human compositions or human abilities or human capabilities, something that is unauthored, eternal, and prime principle giver has to be there. So that we have to accept. And then we are talked about the abhimana rahitya. So Arjuna's worries were taken up into three stages. One is his worry about the eternality of the soul. That is concluded by saying that the souls are eternal. And the second thing, and from that we also learn the existence of the soul and the eternality of the soul. So just as Arjuna is learning, or not learning actually, as for Arjuna, he is a Jnani, Uttama Adhikari. But Krishna is explaining that to Arjuna because at that time, Arjuna had a little bit of tirodhana, we call. That means it was concealed by the Lord himself temporarily to make Arjuna go through that experience, so that Lord gives the instruction to Arjuna, and by that method, not only Arjuna is helped, but the entire humanity for generations to come, they will also get benefited. So the Gita Upadesha started. So that first step, that eternality of the soul, is for Arjuna and also for us. Then the second thing is the temporariness of the body, the existence of the dharmas, the karma theory, the papa punyas, the bodies go away and the new bodies are acquired, and still the jiva goes through the karma results. All these are relevant for Arjuna in the sense he should not worry about the loss of the body. That way they are relevant for Arjuna. For us, they are relevant because now we not only see the temporariness of the body, but also we see that our karmas are responsible for our own experiences in life. So, what we reap, whatever we have in our regular lives according to the karma. So the as you sow, so you reap. So that's the expression that we hear, and the same that's nothing but a part of the karma theory only. So that part is relevant for us because we understand from that the very existence of dharma, dharma chintane, the karma chintane, and how it is affecting our lives. So this will make us lead a good life. Oh, if we do good actions today, we eventually good will come out of it. So we are going to experience the good results from our good actions. So this will give us the tendencies to lead our life in the dharma marga. In the very beginning, we talked about this in the sense Kaurava and Pandava Yuddha that we talked about, the Arjuna is there and Krishna gave the instruction. And really, there is one kind of a Kaurava Pandava Yuddha we are having every day in our lives, because there are a good thoughts that come to us. There's sometimes the bad thoughts come, and there is a clash between the good thoughts and bad thoughts within us. So the good thoughts can be compared to Pandavas, and the bad thoughts can be compared to Kauravas. So there's always a fight within us, like a Kaurava Pandava Yuddha, Kurukshetra Yuddha. It is happening within us every day in our daily life. And for us, we need the Paramatma, the Bimbaru Paramatma that is within us, and the Sarva Preraka Paramatma. He is within us, and with his guidance, we have to seek help from Paramatma and conquer the evil forces or the evil thoughts. So the Pandava good thoughts have to conquer the Kaurava, the evil thoughts that are the battle that's going on every day in our life. Apart from that, our life, we struggle, every struggle outside we go, there are so many issues, the problems that we face. That is like a battlefield. So the everyday, day-to-day struggle in life is also like a battle. Every day we are fighting not only the inner battle between Kauravas and Pandavas that we talked about, but outside battles also. The problems that we face every day in our life, during those problems, how our thoughts should go, what should we do, how we should handle the daily problems in life. So, for that also, the lessons are there in Bhagavad Gita. If we do our actions, our karmas in the right way, and as we handle the problems, we see the hand of Paramatma, the invisible hand, that he is controlling everything, and our absence of Swatantra, and Paramatma alone is Swatantra, we are all Aswatantra, that Swatantra Aswatantra Bhavana, and by that surrendering to Paramatma and mm, seeking his help, that will give us peace of mind, and that will help us in handling the external day-to-day struggles, problems in life. We can handle that. So that is also is very important for us. So that is also relevant for us. So this instruction is not only in the Kurukshetra Yuddha, but this is for our internal Sangharshana, what we call Anta Sangharshana, the clash within us, and also the struggles in life every day in our daily walk of life, the problems that we face, how to handle them, how to approach those issues. So that also the answer for that can be obtained from Gita. And Matra Sprashastu Kaunteya, Sitoshna Sukadukadaha, there also we talked about that last class a little bit, we touched on that. If Arjuna's worry is, okay, I know the souls are eternal, I know that the bodies will get destroyed, I should not worry about that, but still my anxiety or worry, Arjuna may say that it is because I am attached to Bhishma and Drona. So my attachment is making me feel sad. Then Krishna is giving in that attachment is bad. So you are attached to them. Oh, attachments are bad, but we are attached to our wife and children. Why attachments are bad? Attachments are bad if they make you swerve from your duty of action. Then it is bad. So here, Arjuna having an attachment for Bhishma Drona during his all normal time is all fine. But when he came to a juncture of time where he has to make a decision that whether he is going to support dharma or the adharma, this dharma chintane, that is of utmost importance. And during this dharma yuddha, If Arjuna does not perform dharma yuddha, then he is swerving from the path. So that way, here, the third reason of attachment is also a wrong reason, and that is explained matras prashastu kaunteya sitoshna sukhadukadaha. So this, whatever is happens to us, we are in a way having a wrong understanding of the attachments. For example, I'll give you a simple example how these attachments will work. Suppose we own a house, we are the owner of the house, and if something happens, the house gets burnt or a house falls down, house gets destroyed, we say, oh my god, this house fell down, or this house got burnt. We feel very sad, depressed, and we feel a tremendous pain. Imagine that you sold that house, your house or property, you sold to somebody. After you sold, after a week or whatever, or a week or 2 weeks or after a month, the same house got burned. You say, oh, thank God. After I sold, the house got burned. When I was owner of the house, it didn't burn. So you feel relieved, you feel happy. But same act, same thing happened. The house getting burned when on a paper you are the owner of the house. On the paper, that's all. And you say, oh, nothing should happen to the house. But when you sign the paper, you gave it to somebody else, and on the paper, you are not the owner, and you are not worried about the house getting burned. So, where is the problem? The problem is in the attachment. So, we are attached. So, then another question. So, does it mean that we should not be attached to anything? No, it's not possible. We have the attachments because that's how we perform our daily activities. Without attachments, we feel helpless, we feel lost, we feel everything happens because of attachments. But we should be aware where the attachments are coming from. We should have proper knowledge of the attachments. Then the attachments will not torment us. So that means when there's a problem, we should not feel too low. Oh, that's it, this is the end of it. So the problems should not make us bogged down. And same way, when something good happens, when you get a title, you get a big reward, something, oh, there's nobody like me. The ahankara or the garva are feeling excessively happy. Of course, the small normal excitements and normal sadness, normal reactions are very, very possible, because that's, we are alive means we show the reactions, that's normal. But the excessive, losing the balance should not happen. So we have a balance of mind. This balance of mind attitude can come only if we have proper understanding of these attachments. So that is explained matras prashastu kaunteya. That means there also Acharya in Bhashya and Tattva explains in an elaborate fashion how this contact between the soul, between the body uh, and the external conditions. Like, actually, we have five sense organs. Among the five sense organs, the Sita Ushna is talked about. That means the sense organ of the touch, the skin, and its vishayas, topics like cold or hot. Sita and Ushna, suppose it's extremely cold, you feel, oh, it's too cold. It's extremely hot, oh, it's too hot. We want a comfortable temperature, we want a comfortable weather. So all that is experienced by your skin. So the skin, that particular what you call tvagindriya, the indriya of the touch, that is active all the time. Even during our sleep, we close our eyes, and our, we don't physically close our ears, but they're kind of put to rest and everything. But the skin is still exposed. Like, suppose you pour some hot object is touched to somebody who is in the sleep, the person will startle and wake up. But normal variations of, tolerable variations to the skin, they are there. We don't even feel like during sleep, a little bit cold air, a little bit warm air comes, we don't feel anything. So that Sita Ushna experience, even though it is there during sleep, we don't experience it. that is indicated by that matra spasha. So it is not just the contact between the sense organs and the sense objects. The contact alone is not the cause for our happiness or sorrow. It is, as we explained, the attachments. It is happening to me. It is happening to me. Something happens to the body, we say it is happening to me. The soul feels everything is happening to it. So the soul has that abhimana. We call the word that is used is abhimana. The abhimana is that atma jnana. So everything happening to me is happening to me. That feeling is what is the root cause of our sadness or happiness. So that concept is also presented by that. So all these are practical things that we use in our daily life. So it is relevant for Arjuna as much in the battlefield for him to engage in the war. It is also as much relevant for us in our daily life, how we apply that, how we think about all these things in our daily transactions, daily vyavahara. All these are very, very relevant for us. And this very practical lesson is given by Lord Sri Krishna in his initial instruction for Arjuna. And as we progress, we will also see how Sri Krishna's other words also are very relevant, not only for Arjuna, they're relevant for us also. Everything we will talk about that more in detail in Lord Sri Krishna's other words that come through. So I pass this here so that we allow some time for the any questions are there. Hare Srinivasa, Sri Krishna Arpanamastu. If there are any questions, I'll be happy to answer them. Hare Srinivasa.
On YouTube, I don't see any questions. Let me check again. Ajay, do you see any question? Any questions idea, Ajay? Yadaru ನನಗೆ ಅದೇನು ಕಾಮೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಕಾಣಿಸ್ತಾನೆ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಅಜಯ್ ಇದ್ದೀರಾ? ಇಲ್ಲ ಸರ್, ಏನು ಯಾವುದೋ ಕ್ವೆಶ್ಚನ್ಸ್ ಇದ್ದಂಗಿಲ್ಲ. I think
okay.
We are good.
Okay. So now the Mattu, I mean, ಏನಾದ್ರು ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಇದ್ರೆ ಜನ they can ask later on also. Chat ನಲ್ಲಿ ಆದ್ರೂ ಕೇಳಬಹುದು. They can ask questions in their chat or YouTube or in WhatsApp group. If any questions are there, I'll be happy to answer the next session.
Yeah.
Sure.
Okay. Okay. I think we can. Ajay, are you there? Okay. I think we need to end this session. I'm just trying to end.
Any question ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಂದ್ರೆ I mean they can close the streaming.
To stop this. Ajay, ಇದೀರಾ? Hello, Ajay.
Praveen, yes.
ಇದು ಸ್ಟಾಪ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಾ ಲೈವ್?
ಓಕೆ ಸರ್, ಓಕೆ ಓಕೆ
ಲೈವ್ ಸ್ಟಾಪ್ ಮಾಡಿ, ನಾನು ಇದು ಸೆಷನ್
ಓಕೆ.